First of all, I would like to thank you for the mercy of God, great virtue of holy teachers, kindness of transmitters, lecturers, and all of you to give me this opportunity to share the holy teacher scriptures, 10 years. This 10 years means we have cultivated maybe 5 years, 10 years, 20 years plus. So teachers try to give us some instruction, some directions, which area we can do better, we can improve. So last time we went through we have gone through the page 1 to page 4. Holy teacher asked us, is the Tao still true after those years of cultivation? Is the Tao principle are still true? Holy teacher asks us. So deep inside our heart, when teacher asks those questions, we can answer ourselves. And then teacher asks us, the heavenly mandate is still true or not? And the channeling by the saints and Buddha is still true. So we quickly go through it. Then our heart of Tao cultivation is still true or not? And the vow to propagate the Tao is still true. The bond between you and other cultivators are still true. The other thing is, Holy Teacher asks us, the affinities between Holy Teachers and all of us is still true or not? So teacher wants us to maintain that pureness, trueness. When we start to serve a hand tower, when we start to learn how to speak the three treasuries, when we start to sing a holy song, do we still maintain that pureness and trueness until today? So Holy Teacher also remind us, when we are encouraging all sentient beings, have we ignored our own practice? Okay, so teacher remind us, this is what we have touched last time. So we'll continue on page 5. Holy Teachers has asked, 10 years have passed, disciples, have you raised your Tao cultivation in a different level? Since the first days become proficient or competent, have we improved last 10 years? Have we? So Holy Teacher wants us to keep improving. So we have cultivated for many, many years, but have we improved those years? When people see us, they can see we have improved or not. We don't even have to say a word. People can see from what we do, what we say, people can see that. But teacher always worry about us. Have we keep improving? Have we done better? Next one is Holy Teacher asks, 10 years have passed. Disciples, have you been able to practice what you have learned? Yes, but we learn, that's why I always said, we even did a couple of points on today's class. If we can apply to our daily life, we can apply to daily life, that's enough. We won't be able to remember all. We won't be able to remember all, but we just need to remember a couple of main points we can apply to daily lives, okay? When the lecture time send us the information, the recording information and materials, we can go back to review it if we want to. But for today's class, we want to remember a couple of main points, so we go back, we can apply to our daily lives. So teacher asks if we practice what we have learned. Next one is also important. Holy Teacher asks us, 10 years have passed. Disciples, have you cultivated from the emotional temper to Tao energy to be very positive, pure calmness to that level? Always very calm, no matter what will happen to us. Don't lose our temper. Okay, so have we changed our tempers and habits? Okay. That's very, very critical for cultivators. Maybe old days, when something happened to us, we get upset, get angry. Today, we need to maintain it. The pureness, calmness. Don't get emotion. Don't get upset. try to control our temper. So that's probably one of the most critical items as cultivators. Okay. Always control our temper. Don't lose them. Once we lost them, we lost our marriage too. Okay. So gotta be careful. So something happened to us, even somebody did something bad to us. Don't get upset. Don't get upset. Just manage. Just look. Buddha watching. So to test us, see how we respond. Okay. Next one. Holy teacher asks us, 10 years have passed. Disciples, have you cultivated from the complaint to appreciation? So are we always complain or we don't complain anymore? We appreciate little thing every day now after we cultivate for so many years. So we appreciate little thing what we have and whatever people do to us. So we will not use complaint as an excuse anymore. Okay, so that's very important, from complaints to appreciation every day. So we change our approach and attitude. Life will be changed too. Our faith will be changed too. So Holy Teacher always remember us that. Next one. Holy Teacher said, 10 years have passed. Disciples, have you cultivated from the cool, that means extremely unkindness, to humanity and love, kindness? So Holy Teacher wants us to change to what? Like a Buddha, loving kindness, compassion, benevolence. So do not have unkindness in us anymore. So we were like big Buddha. Every day we are so kind, so care for all the sentient beings, like Buddha. That's very important. Our mindset got to change. Don't just think about ourselves anymore. We have to, our main point is focus on all sentient beings, not ourselves anymore. Holy Teacher said, 10 years have passed. Disciples, have you cultivated from pessimism to optimism? Means from old days, sometimes we might think the worst thing might happen to us, but becomes all the good thing, positive will happen to us. So always stay very positive, very pure attitude. Okay? Even sometimes we are facing difficulty, tests, struggles, because Buddha and God think we are capable for the tests, for the trials, because we are the candidates as a saint and Buddha. So that's why God give us some tests. Don't take it as a negative approach. Always think about positive, okay? "10 years have passed. Disciples, have you cultivated from the stubbornness to rejoice for others?" This is very important. The reason we have a stubbornness because we have a lot of attachments like fame, power, wealth, and others, which we stuck there. Even sometimes we have attachment for our own. Okay, we think me. That's attachment. But Buddha think about all sentient beings. They never think about me. Never think about themselves. So the difference between human being and Buddha is Buddha only think about human being, only care about human being. They don't care about themselves. But human beings, sometimes we put ourselves first, sentient being second. So we should reverse their position from now on. We need to change from stubbornness to rejoice for others. And what does that mean? It means when people are doing so successful, people are doing so well, we are so happy for them. We are so happy for them. That's one kind of merit we can earn for ourselves too. When people are doing so well, doing so successfully, we are so happy for them. And people are improved, we are happy for them. So this is one of the merits we can earn every day. Holy Teacher asks us, 10 years have passed. Disciples, have you cultivated from the selfishness to charitable means generous giving. So are we change our position from selfishness to generous giving? So like a Buddha, always give, don't think ourselves, okay? Yeah, selfishness is always think about the individual. So think about ourselves. No, we don't do that anymore. We think about all the sentient beings like a Buddha are doing. So from now on, every day we just think about all sentient beings. How do we help them? What do we have to do to protect them? Not just think about ourselves anymore, because we are Buddha. We are all Buddha reborn. Don't forget, we are all Buddha. We all have a position in the heaven originally, but we came down. We made a big vows to come down, but we forgot. A lot of time we forgot. So that's why Qigong Buddha or other Buddhas keep remind us we are all saints and Buddha reborn. Don't forget our missions in this world. Next one, Holy Teacher asks, talk about it. One must cultivate one's natures to display mercy. So this is very important. As we cultivate, the more we cultivate, we have to display mercy, kindness, caring for the sentient being. One can be still and pure with divine wisdom. Sometimes we talk about you are very smart. That's for the people to talk about each other. From Buddha point of view, they want to have divine wisdom, want to use wisdom from our Buddha nature to deal with things. When things come, every day we have to encounter a lot of things. Sometimes we have troubles, struggles, difficulties. We deal with them. Then what happens? We let them go after it's done. So that's very important. Use our Buddha nature, use our conscience to deal with them. Okay. Sometimes some people might take advantage of us. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? We let it go. Then we do not create karma. And God are watching. Buddha are watching. Okay. So Holy Teacher always said it. When somebody take advantage of us, the heaven will compensate us too. The heaven will compensate us. Okay, don't worry about that. Yeah. So one must cultivate one's mind to be rational. It's like very logical. Okay, one can be clearly aware of sensibilities. One must cultivate their body to be healthy. As a cultivator, we need to be healthy. We don't want to be as a cultivator or even vegetarian. We made a vegetarian vow. We still not healthy. Depend on what we do, what we eat, what we think. In the meantime, Holy Teacher encourage us. Before we have to go to bed at 11 p.m. at nighttime. We have to go to bed at 11. From 11 to 3 a.m., we had to be on the bed. After 3 a.m., you can get up, do whatever we want to do. That's fine. But 11 to 3, that's the most important time we have to lie down on the bed to sleep. So that's why Holy Teacher and all the other Buddhas keep remind us 11 to 3, we need to lie down on the bed. It's not easy. Sometimes we are so busy or some other thing we have to finish. But Holy Teacher said, you can get up early and do the job. But 11 p.m. to 3 a.m., we need to be on the bed to sleep. One can be honorable with accomplishment. It's not easy to cultivate doubt in the white period. Why I say it's not easy? Because all of us, we have come a long way to get here. Look at the whole world. How many population are there? How many population are there? But how many people can receive Tao, cultivate and propagate the Tao? How many people can, like all of us, can have the online class to listen to study the scripture from holy teachers? Not many. Percentage point very, 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 very low. So we are very. So Holy Teacher always said we are a group of fortune. We are fortune people. We are the very fortunate group. Okay, very lucky group. We are the luckiest people in the world. to able to receive Tao, cultivate and propagate Tao. And also in the meantime, we can study the Dharma class topics, or we can talk about Buddha nature class, talk about scriptures. So we are very lucky and fortunate group, but we need to cherish the moment, okay? Because at this moment, for example, let me make one example. When we learn how to take a bath, when we have a physical body, it might take 15, 20 minutes to learn it. By the time, if we don't know how to, some people receive Tao, and then they will come back to the temple, but they don't know how to take a bath. By the time they go back to heaven, sometimes take them 2 years, 6 years, 7 years, just to learn how to bow. Why? Why? Because Holy Teacher take one Mr. Lin temple host to the temple host, the Mr. Lin to the heaven. When he came back, he told us, Holy Teacher want him to bring the message back to us. By the time we go back to heaven, we have Buddha nature, true nature to go back with the feeding of the body, the feeding of the body, but we don't have a body at that time. So when we take a bow, we couldn't control the position when we are in heaven. So when we take a bow, we'll keep spending. We couldn't control the position. That's why those people, they have a little thought. If their thought is not completely pure, they will keep spending when they bow. So Holy Teacher said, got to learn all the stuff when we have physical body, when we are still in the world. Don't wait until the moment we go back to heaven, we want to learn. At that time, it's kind of very hard to learn. Very slow, too slow, okay? Holy Teacher said, disciples, how do you cultivate Tao? How do we? Holy Teacher asked us, how do we cultivate Tao? That's a good question. Next one, teacher going to talk about more. Holy Teacher asked us, are you in the mood to cultivate when you're facing difficulties, misfortunes, and adversities? Means something against us. So if we're facing the difficulty, misfortune, or harsh other situation, tragedies, what kind of mood do we have to cultivate? Are we very happy to cultivate, or we say, nah, I don't have time because I have difficulty and challenging. I will not have time to cultivate. So Holy Teacher asks all of us these questions. Everyone, all of us going to facing difficulty and challenge, misfortunes, any other difficulties in our life. Everyone going to face that. But what kind of situation, how do we face that? How do we continue to cultivate? Or do we say, okay, I need to take a break? And Holy Teacher asks all those questions. Next one is, Holy Teacher asks, do you forget to cultivate when things are going well for you? That's the hardest test for all of us. When everything is going so well, be careful. That's the hardest test from the heaven. Because you know what? At the moment, a lot of people forget to cultivate. A lot of people think about life is beautiful. Life are perfect. We don't need to cultivate. But that's those are the tests from the heaven, from the Buddha. They try to see how we respond when everything is going so well. Do we continue to cultivate? Do we continue to cultivate when everything is going so well, doing so well? Next question, Holy Teacher asks us, do you feel it's difficult to cultivate when you are going through the tests and trial? Okay, Teacher asks us. These tests and trial, for example, some people are criticizing us. Do we continue to cultivate? Or do we facing disasters? We are facing disasters or tragedies. Do we continue to cultivate? So Holy Teacher asks us all kind of questions. Okay, we need to ask ourselves, what kind of answer we have for the Holy Teacher? Okay, when we face the test, do we continue to cultivate? Next one is, Holy Teacher asks, do you not have time to cultivate when you are experiencing financial hardships? when you are experiencing financial hardship. This is the other hard one too. I have no money to eat. I struggle to make a living. Life is terrible. Do we continue to cultivate? Based on our experience, this is the most important we have to cultivate. We cannot go away from the temple. We cannot away from the Tao. We need to continue to cultivate. The reason we are facing financial difficulty or hardship because the previous life, we have different karmas. Okay? That's why Holy Teacher always, and Buddha always encourage us to donate it. Financially, or maybe Dharma methods or teachings to help sentient beings. The reason we have a financial hardship, according to Buddha, is because we didn't donate enough in previous life. That's why we are facing the financial hardship in this lifetime. Okay? But don't get discouraged when we are facing the financial hardship. We need to continue to cultivate. Because in this lifetime, if we are waiting to cultivate, propagate Tao, we can resolve all the karmas we have in so many previous years. We can resolve all in this lifetime. No matter how many lives, we could have 1,000 lives in previous life because we have reincarnated for 60,000 years. So you can imagine how many lives already. But if we are willing to cultivate, receive Tao, cultivate and propagate Tao, accumulate enough merits and virtues, we can resolve all the karmas, all the good and bad karmas in this lifetime to go back. So we can go back to absolute heaven. But some people say, okay, you got the motive to go back. We can go back, but people still can make big Buddha vow, can come down again to help sentient beings. We don't want to come down again because our karma push us down to this world again. Because Buddha come down to reborn, they can choose where they want to reborn, which family they want to reborn. They can choose what they want to reborn. But human beings come down to this world, a lot of the time, most of the time, we don't have a choice because of our karma. Okay, that's a big difference there. Holy Teacher said, what I see is that disciples usually only try to make more or less efforts of cultivation. As you encounter problems when you seek help. Holy Teacher said, when we are facing problems, we need help. At that time, we told Holy Teacher, we kneel down in front of the altar. We asked Holy Teacher, can you help? And we will try to make the effort to cultivate. We didn't do the best we can to cultivate. But only when we are facing difficulties and problems, we will ask for help. We'll ask for help. Sometimes it's kind of late. Okay. Holy Teacher said, if you hold a mindset to exchange conditions with heaven, how can you come to self-realization by cultivating Tao this way? So Holy Teacher remind us, we cannot exchange conditions with heaven. Okay? Heaven try to see our sincerity, how we want to cultivate. Okay? If we keep exchanging condition with heaven, what happens? We will not be enlightened in this lifetime. Okay, so we need to change our approach. We were willing to cultivate, come from our deep of our heart. We are willing to do it, not because we are facing difficulty or challenge. We try to exchange the condition with heaven or with Buddha. Holy Teacher said that disciples, you must be focused on Tao cultivations. Say, all of us, today, the most important thing in our daily life, I'm going to put it this way, is to receive Tao, cultivate, and propagate Tao. This should be our main job for our life, if we can. The other job, to support the family, support our financial side, that's fine, that's good. But we need to start to move the focus to Tao cultivation and Tao propagation a little bit more. Holy Teacher said, you must be more selfless. The more you cultivate, and not more selfish. Holy teacher want us to be selfless. All the grand predecessors, include Buddhas, they are all selfless. They never think about themselves. They don't think about themselves. They only think about sentient being. How do they save the sentient being? Every day they try to save sentient being. Even just a little small ants or animals, they try to save them, all the sentient beings. Human being, we care about our family. We care about our living situation. We only care about ourselves most of the time. We need to change that direction. We need to care about more for others. Don't just think about ourselves anymore, okay? We need to be like a Buddha. We need to think like a Buddha too, okay? You must be more giving, and more you cultivate and not greedier. So we must be more willing to give, very generous, okay? So the more we do, the more we cultivate, we must be more giving, willing to give, okay? That's very important, okay? 10 years have passed. Disciples, is your daily life according to the principle of Tao cultivation and propagation? Holy teacher asks us very important question. Doesn't matter 5 years, 10 years, 20 years plus have passed. Disciples, is our daily living, daily lives according to Tao principles? Whatever we do, wherever we are, do we keep doing that? Always use our Buddha nature, our conscience in charge. So Buddha, our holy teacher asks very, very important question. So sometimes, as I said, some people might take advantage of us. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Let it go. Maybe we owe them in previous life. Okay? We don't even know. Holy teacher always remind us. Sometimes we got some bad treatment from somebody else because we did the same thing to them in previous lives. We just don't remember. So they just pay back to all of us. So don't take too seriously. Okay, let it go. But don't forget to remember to apply what we learn every day to our daily life. Okay, what we learn in the class to daily life. 10 years have passed. Disciples, do your life's principles emphasize holy affairs over mundane affairs? Do we take holy affair more serious than mundane affairs, our daily life? So holy mission, holy affairs is like bring people to receive Tao, cultivate, propagate Tao. So that's the holy affairs. Take those missions, save the sentient being as the #1 priority. So if we can do that, we are very getting closer to become to the Buddhas. Okay, we need to think in that way. Like when we are young, we try to make a living, make a good life. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can pursue your goal, our goals, and our ambitions. That's fine. But the more we do, when we cultivate more, we need to change our direction and approaches a little different. Take holy affairs more seriously. That's the only way for us to become a Buddha again. The only way we learn more to be enlightened. Okay, so we need to do that more. So Holy Teacher keep remind us all the time. Yeah. Next, Holy Teacher said, 10 years have passed. Disciples, do you take actions to donate money and holy teachings? Holy Teacher wants, do we keep doing that? So it's not just donate money. We could donate our time to help. Okay, that is not. It's not okay. $1 or $100 or $1 million. No, it's not amount. It's our sincerity. Some people donate $1, but that's almost what the person has. That's fine. He or she can show his his or her sincerity. But if some people donate $1 million, but he got tons of money. So percentage-wise, God tries to see our sincerity. Okay, it's not amount of money, it's our heart, our sincerity. So, and we can donate time, effort to help temple and help sentient being. The other thing is holy teaching. Okay, to help bring people to receive Tao, to explain to them what Tao is, all Tao means, can explain to them why they have to receive Tao, to avoid the reincarnation of cycle of the death, birth, death, and rebirth. So teacher wants us to keep doing that. Don't worry about amount, what we have to do. Just keep doing that, what we are doing, okay? Based on our ability, don't overdo. Don't overdo, okay? Especially for gentlemen. 10 years have passed. Disciples, are you persistent in conforming to pure words and plant-based diets? Pure words means whatever we say, whatever we do, are according to our conscience, our Buddha nature. We don't say something we cannot do. We don't lie. We to be honest. We say something in good words, in positive terms, very positive words. Plant-based diet means, the reason we have a plant-based diet, we don't want to create more karma. When we eat meat, we eat seafood, we create more karmas. Because we don't know how much karmas we have created in previous life. We don't know. That's why a lot of things happen to us. Holy teacher always talk about a lot of karma. We don't even know. So we want to cut down the big karma with all the animals. That's why we start to eat plant-based diet. Okay? We don't want to create more karma. Yeah. So this is very, very critical. Then sometimes people cannot do immediately. That's fine. We can say, okay, I'm going to do plant-based diet and the breakfast only. Breakfast only. Or we can start, say 1 day a week, I'm going to do it. In Taiwan, I think some people probably know, they only on Monday, everybody's trying to do Monday, no meat on Monday. Okay, so very popular. Or some people say, I'm going to do it 1st and 15th of the month. Usually that's lunar year, but you can do it according to our calendars. That's fine. You can start it, we say, okay, I'm going to do 1st and 15th of the month to have a vegetarian food. Okay, so you can start little by little. It's also very healthy for all of us. That's very important. Okay. Next one, Holy Teacher asks us, 10 years have passed. Disciples, do you hold the golden thread through the cooperating, accommodating to the enlightened Holy Teachers and focus on Tao mission? Teacher asks us, do we hold the golden thread? Golden thread is from our God, Maitreya, Holy Teacher, grand predecessor, senior trade transmitter, senior gene transmitter, introducers, sponsor them to us. So do we hold on this golden thread? Do we go to different, do we go away from this golden thread? Very, very important. God and Buddha try to see our loyalty. Do we keep this golden thread? Okay, so it's very important. So we are in this Tao cultivation. We don't want to away from this golden thread. Okay, but we maintain that. The other thing we also have to emphasize, focus on our Tao missions, respect our Tao missions, which we have in ourselves. Next one, Holy Teachers talk about 10 years have passed. Disciples are the vows those you have taken, expressed through actual steady effort. Holy Teachers talk about the vow we have taken. We took in the heaven, and we did take in the temple or someplace else. Do we make steady progress, or do we make put the most effort to improve ourselves, to fulfill our vow. So we make a vow. A lot of time we make a vow in heaven, we don't even remember. I remember there's one lecture holy teacher took her because she had a car accident. She rode a motorcycle in Taiwan. She had a car accident and she was unconscious. She was, then they tried to wake her up. She couldn't wake up. So the holy teacher took her to the heaven, and the holy teacher showed her the piece of paper, which lists all the vows she made in the heaven. And her holy teacher, how come I have a long list of vows? Holy teacher said, this is the vow you make in the heaven. So a lot of vows we make in the heaven, we don't even remember ourselves. We don't even remember at all. We don't even remember at all. So we are the Buddha before we came down to this world. We make a vow. We try to come down to save the sentient being. That's why Holy Teacher Buddhas always try to remind us. But a lot of time we forgot. Holy Teacher asks us, 10 years have passed. Disciples, does your thinking conform to the core of the Tao, conform to the center concept of Tao, not deviate from center concept, means our true nature, our conscience, do not go away from Tao, okay? Whatever we think, whatever we do, not away from Tao. Teacher asks us next, 10 years have passed. Disciples, does your sincerity according to loyalty, veracity, humanity, and righteousness? So Holy Teacher asks our sincerity. According to what? Loyalty means we could loyal to King, to God, to the countries, to the company, to the leader. That's loyalty to. We still maintain the sincerity. Veracity is to our parents. Humanity and is to all the sentient beings. Righteousness is to ourselves or to others. Do we still do the right things all the time? Okay? Holy Teacher asks us, Tao cultivation is not to keep considering which responsibility is suitable for me to undertake. Here's Tao cultivation is not to think out, just the reason we think about which kind of responsibility is suitable for me to take, because me, that's very dangerous. As a cultivator, we need to get rid of me. We need to think about others, all the sentient beings, okay? So we are not thinking about what we should do, okay? Which responsibility I will do. We need to think about, according to sentient being, what do they need, not what we need. Tao cultivation is not keep choosing which environment is suitable for me to cultivate. Very, very critical. Sometimes people think about this big temple, big church, big place, a lot of people there in the temple. So we want to be there. So that's very dangerous because we are looking into forms that will not help us to cultivate or become Buddha. The reason because even a small temple, small place, small room with a middle lamp is the same big temple with a lamp in the middle. The same. There's no difference. Buddha are always, doesn't matter small room or big temple. Buddha are there all the time. Even God are there all the time. There's no difference in between. Human being will look, oh, this got to be a big temple, beautiful temple, big place. A lot of people there. So we think that's the place we want to go. Human being look into the forms. Very dangerous to cultivate that in that way. We need to avoid that way. Okay? It depends on our sincerity, depends on our Doesn't matter small temple or big temple, there's no difference at all. So we don't have to choose the environment is suitable for us to cultivate. Here is always me. Okay, so it's very dangerous too. Dao cultivation is not to keep calculating which leader is suitable for me to follow. So sometimes people say, I'm going to choose different leader to follow. Okay, different lectures, different transmitter we can follow. I'm in northeast of Dallas here. One time I was in Houston, in Texas. There was a big temple. There's the big building. The temple is in Houston. There is no lectures. There's no transmitters in the temple, but a lot of Dao members there. You know what happened? The temple host is in charge there. The temple host couldn't get along with transmitters, lectures, and all. Then this temple host take over the temple by herself. So now the temple is no transmitter, no lectures, only temple hosts. Take care of all the Dao activities. So that in that case, it's very dangerous. Where do they lead all the sentient beings to? Where do they lead the people to? So that's very, very dangerous. So we don't choose which leader we want to follow. We have to be careful. So those kind of activity is not good for us to follow. We need to know that. Okay, so you can see everybody cultivate, but a lot of people have attachment there. They try to take over the power. Okay, they think they are in charge, but no. In the temple, even transmitters are not in charge. The God are in charge. The God is in charge. The Buddhas are in charge, not the transmitter. Transmitter just like all of us, as cultivators. Okay, God is watching. Buddha are watching all the time. They are in charge. Okay, so we don't choose which leader we want to follow. So that's very, very important. Okay, this happened to the temple in Houston. It's pretty sad to see that situation. No lectures, no transmitter for whole temple. I was there, so I was kind of sad to see that. Yeah. Next one, Holy Teacher asks us, Dao cultivation is especially not to keep gossiping. Yeah, a lot of time people will like to gossip. That's no good. It will create a lot of bad karma. We do gossip. We keep gossiping. So a lot of time we call somebody, we talk to somebody else. Okay, in the beginning it's fine, but the more we talk, at the end, a lot of gossip will come out after that. So we need to avoid that. Okay. The other thing is, Holy Teacher said, whether or not others work well together, whether or not their responsibility, their personality click, and whether or not their styles connect, or whether or not they get along. Okay, we need to concentrate the cultivation and propagation for ourselves. We don't have to worry about all those stuff too much. Okay, we need to concentrate ourselves. Okay. Next one, the very important things Holy Teacher mentioned about here. Disciples, you only need to remember two words: cooperative, cooperate with, or accommodate with. Work jointly toward to the same goal. Means we need to accommodate with what? Temple, majority of group, Dao Affairs Center, and then keep going down. Holy Teacher going to talk more. That's very important. Yeah. So a lot of times, once we cultivate for so long, we think we are taking over. We are in charge. No. All of us, including transmitter, no one's in charge. The God is in charge, not us. We are just members of temples here. No matter which temples, we are just a member of the group, include transmitters. Okay? God is in charge. Buddha are in charge. God is in charge. Okay? Don't forget that. Not human being. Okay? Cooperate with heavenly time, the open publication of universal salvation of the three realms, cultivate, propagate, and propagate Taos to perfect all affinities. This is heavenly time. This is the time to spread the Tao. If we were born more than 100 years ago, we may not be able to receive Tao. But we don't know when will end for the time to spread the Tao. We have no idea. It depends on God, okay? But at this moment, we are allowed to spread the Tao to bring people to receive Tao, only for this period, this moment. We don't know how long it's going to be. So this is very, very important heavenly time for people to receive Tao. And then for the salvation, universal salvation of three realms. Yeah, so we can save our sentient, our ancestor because of our cultivation. If we have enough merits and virtues, our ancestors do not have to suffer anymore. As soon as we receive Tao, our ancestors, including our parents, if they are not around anymore, they don't have to suffer. They go to place, can listen to the Buddha to talk about scriptures. So they don't have to suffer as soon as we receive Tao. So that's a big, big difference, okay? And we also want to perfect all the affinity with all of us. Yeah, everyone of us have a lot of affinity with all the sentient beings around us. Okay. Next one, Holy Teacher talk about cooperative with the current time and situation. Take responsibility for both holy and mundane affairs, completely benefiting others and oneself. Holy Teacher wants us to what? Accommodate the current time and situation. We are very lucky and fortunate to have this opportunity. And we have a responsibility for our holy mission and maintain affair. Maintain affair, we need to fulfill too. We need to take care of our family, take care of our responsibility. But in the meantime, we need to concentrate on holy mission too. We want to benefit all the sentient beings, include ourselves. Okay? Cooperative with sentient beings. Okay, right? Both a firm and gentle approach. Modify, adjust one's teachings to help to develop their great potential. So here's Holy Teacher talk about, because everybody has a different background, different ability, but we need to adjust and to help them with a general approach, very nice and kind approach, okay? Based on their background abilities. Do not use a hard approach against them. We don't do that. We cannot do that. We need to be very gentle and soft approach to help them, all the sentient beings. Okay? Even all the cultivators come to the temple, and every human being come to the temple. We need to help them to very gentle, kind approach. Holy Teacher, next, Holy Teacher talk about cooperating with Tao community, pioneers the Tao, and nurture growth, and the spirits of the all one Tao consistent policy. This is also important concept here. We need to, especially our grand predecessor, to bring the Tao from China, Taiwan to Taiwan, then from Taiwan to USA, so we can receive Tao here. Okay, most of people receive Tao in USA, but we need to continue to what? nurture the growth. So we need to follow their footsteps to continue to cultivate and propagate Tao, bring all the sentient beings to receive Tao. The other thing is all the other people to receive Tao. And the other thing, we need to follow one Tao consistent policy, because this is all true principles we need to follow based on our true nature, based on our conscience. Holy teacher talk about 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate if you continue to progress sometimes and regress other times? Holy teacher worry about all of us. Sometimes we cultivate and propagate that. Sometimes we move forward, sometimes the other time we move backwards. So we did not even improve ourselves at all. So Holy teacher keep remind us, we need to continue to make a progress. Continue to make progress. Don't sometimes move forward, the other time move backward. They will not help. So every time Holy teacher or other Buddha comes, first thing they already worry about, have we improved? Have we make progress? So we need to worry, keep doing that, okay? Keep doing that. Don't stop our footsteps. Continue to improve, to cultivate and propagate Tao. So Holy teacher remind us, if we continue to cultivate, propagate Tao, don't worry about the other things. Eventually, we will have a position in absolute heaven. We will have position there. If we keep doing what we are doing today, don't worry about it. We will have position there. Okay? But we are not willing to do that. The Holy teacher, Buddha cannot guarantee that. Okay? But once we are positioned there, we still can make big vow to come down again if we are willing to do that. If we are willing to do that, we can come down again to help more sentient beings. Our lecturer, Liu, who is talking about the Buddha nature class, he told all of us, he's willing to come down again. When he went back there, he's willing to come down again to help more sentient beings. So a lot of Buddha are making these big vows. Okay? So we can do the same thing. We want to. But we need to continue to improve. We don't want to move one step forward, the other step backward. So we will not improve at all. Next item is also important. Holy teacher talk about 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you, if you continue to have half merits and half demerits? Okay, Holy teacher worry about us because we do good things, good deeds to correct some half merits. But the other thing, we make mistake. We committed sins to demerit ourselves. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to earn the merits. The other thing, we made a mistake to lose the merits. Then what happened? We don't gain anything at all. So Holy teacher wants us to work on that one. Okay? Don't make mistake. Especially temple regulation are very important. Okay, follow up. Golden thread. Yeah. 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate if you continue to complain this and that? Human being, we usually like to complain. We always have an excuse for ourselves. So Holy teacher said, how can we continue to cultivate and propagate if we continue to complain this or complain that? So we need to change that habit. We need to change that habit. We need to appreciate little things we have every day. Look around the whole world. Look around the whole world. We are very fortunate and lucky in this land. A lot of other locations, sentient beings are suffering. Sentient beings are really, really suffering. In USA, we have vaccine available for everybody. But a lot of other countries do not even have vaccines available for COVID-19. So we are very fortunate and lucky in this land. Okay, but we need to cherish this. Don't continue to complain this and complain that. Holy teacher trying to remind us all the time about this. Next one. 10 years has passed. disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate God if you continue to gossip? Continue to gossip. Holy teacher, Buddha always talk about it. Female, a little bit like to gossip a little more. And male like to look, especially male like to look a beautiful girl more. So that's the problem for the female. You know, that's what Buddha said before. When you see people pass away, when time passes by, you can check on the bodies. Usually the males, the eyes are damaged first. Females, the mouth are damaged first. Why? Because men like to see. Female like to gossip. So I'm talking about in general, not everybody. Okay. So that's one Buddha wants us to avoid certain situations like this. We need to control that, control ourselves. It's not easy, but we need to do it. Okay. Don't gossip. Okay. 10 years have passed. Holy teacher talk about 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate if you continue to just pass day in and day out? If we just keep fooling around, pass day in and day out to cultivate. How do we improve? How do we get better? So that's what the Holy Teacher is worried about all of us in this situation. Okay? We need to continue to improve. Next one, Holy Teacher talk about 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate if you continue to not progress at all? See, that's what Holy Teacher talk about. Not progress at all. Not make improvement at all. So we need to continue, make improvement. That's Holy Teacher worry about all of us. Teacher talk about 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate now? Propagate if you continue to be what? Uncertain. Do not have enough confidence. Do not know Tao can save all sentient beings. Can save all the sentient beings, avoid the reincarnation, the cycle of the birth, death, and rebirth. Holy teachers say we got to have enough confidence to believe that Tao can save all the sentient beings to avoid the reincarnation. Okay? We don't have to come back to reincarnate. 10 years have passed. Disciples, how can you cultivate and propagate if you continue to be stubborn as usual? As usual. So Holy Teacher don't want us to continue to be stubborn. Continue to be stubborn. What happened? We have a lot of attachment. We like fame, we like power, we like wealth, we like what? All the other stuff. And we have so much attachment, we cannot get rid of it. Holy Teacher wants us, even we have our own ego, a big attachment, okay? So we can avoid it. And the disciples, how should you do? How can you do? How? Wait and see. That right? Holy Teacher worries us so much. So here he is talking about what should we do? How can we do? Do we wait and see? No. We need to continue to improve ourselves, to make good progress, to benefit our ancestors, okay? To benefit our ancestors, descendants in the future. So I'm going to stop here. If I say something improperly, I ask forgiveness of God, holy teachers, and transmitters, lecturers, and all of you to give me advices. Thank you.